In the pre-industrial era, people lived primarily through agricultural means. The putting out system was a major component of this lifestyle. The putting out system was a system by which textiles were produced. People would bring their wool to tenants, and the women would comb, clean, and spin the wool into yarn. Then, the men would weave this yarn into cloth so that it could be sold. Energy was harnessed during this time period through natural means, such as sails or turbines. These turbines would turn mills, which could then be used to grind wheat into flour. After the Industrial Revolution, the factory system started to become more prominent. Energy began being produced by burning coal. The heat from burning this coal could be used to heat water, which would then be converted into steam. This steam would expand and create a lot of pressure, which could be used to power many things, such as railroad engines, ships, and other transportation means. Cloth could now be produced using the following technique. First, they would shear the sheep to get the wool, which was then put into bales. The spinning wheels would turn these bales into spools of yarn. From there, it would go to the loom, where it would be woven into cloth. Then it would be dyed, taken to a dry goods store, and sold. Two major advancements in the factory systems were the spinning jenny and the flying shuttle loom. The spinning jenny is a multi-spool spinning frame. It reduced the amount of work needed to produce yarn, with one worker now able to produce 8 or more spools at once. The flying shuttle allowed one person to weave much faster and weave things that are much wider at greater speeds. Wool and cotton was typically imported, spun into wool on spinning jennies, made into cloth using the flying shuttle loom, and then was made into bolts of cloth which were then exported and sold. Another key invention of the industrial era was the turnpike. Normally, travelers would have to go through multiple cities to get to their destination, which could make their trip much longer than necessary. However, turnpikes created a straight-shot path from one city to another, greatly shortening your time needed to arrive at your destination. It is typically a privately built road for which a driver pays a toll to use. Crop rotation allowed a much more efficient use of land. Rather than using the same land over and over for the same thing and slowly depleting nutrients, farmers discovered that if they rotated their crops, they could grow crops much more efficiently. This consisted of letting certain sections of soil rest, using fertilizers, mixing the soil, and using a seed drill. In a 50-year period, the population of Great Britain went from 5 million to 9 million people. This is because the infant mortality rate dropped steeply due to many new improvements in technology. The Industrial Revolution was a period in time where many changes in typical society were altered through the introduction of machines, which became much more efficient and useful to produce cloth and other factory-made items.